Rochdale is a good news story for youth work, and we were chatting about it's just in the lifeblood of what we do. We're really fortunate to have really strong political support. So Rachel Massey, our councillor Rachel Massey, our portfolio holder for children, is the biggest champion of everything that we do, and speaks to people on the doorstep most days about what we do. She's rushing back for council tonight to talk about what we do, and that's just so important. Obviously, we're talking from the local authority context, but we work a lot with voluntary and community sector groups, and I've been trustee of voluntary sector organisations for nearly 30 years. It's really fundamentally important. I'll carry on in terms of what we do. So who are we? So this is us. We do loads of things. Rochdale is it's often in the news for the wrong reasons, for historic reasons. There's so many reasons to be cheerful about Rochdale. There's so many reasons to celebrate the brilliant stuff that happens every day with youth work, with schools, with colleagues right across the piece. And I would encourage any and all of you to come and see us if you're in Greater Manchester. We'd be really happy to host you and talk about the good things that is Rochdale. And there's lots of reasons to be cheerful. So this is us. This was us in Youth Work Week. We have quite an interesting range of communities in Rochdale, and our youth service structure and staff are an interesting range of people. So we're definitely a broad church, and it reflects the communities which we serve. So we do a range of youth work, anything that you can think of. So youth work exists where young people are, and so we work right across the spectrum. I was absolutely delighted with the DCRS input this morning. I just thought it was music to our ears, really, because that's what we're about. That's what we are. We work with young people right across the range of need. And work really closely in partnership with lots of agencies, services, not just within the local authority, but more broadly. Our youth workers are area-based and are encouraged to develop community profiles with young people, with community groups, really understanding and getting under the skin of what's happening in that particular ward area, that street, that neighbourhood, and to make that connection to the communities that we're actually serving. Was it Molly Keynes who were talking about public health? I think it was, wasn't it? Our youth service is probably about 98% funded by the public health grant, so we have a really significant input from public health. We report regularly in terms of public health outcomes. There's all sorts of things, because actually, how else do you do it? Really, in the current climate where youth work's been the poor relation, it's youth. You're not a youth worker if you call yourself one. You're a youth worker if you become professionally qualified and you're on a journey. That's a fundamental misunderstanding about youth work for people who are not engaged. I myself am a JNC qualified youth worker. It's just fundamentally important, and it's like people in communities don't call themselves social workers and get away with it, or call themselves teachers. It's a profession. I know that I'm preaching to converted, but seeing as I'm sort of here, so there's a range of things that we do. Some of the things that are up there in terms of some of the events and things that we celebrate, some amazing things, and we have some really strong partnerships. In terms of our delivery model, as you can see, we do everything really. Diane and the team, during COVID, it was amazing. So our delivery model was probably 80% centre-based and 20% detached. During COVID, that flipped. As many areas did, and youth workers were literally going out feeding young people. and Diane and the team, took to social media and just and all sorts of compromising things on TikTok. And we're just doing amazing things, supporting children, young people and families actually, right across Rochdale and Greater Manchester, which is incredible. Diane and the team do amazing stuff in terms of contextual safeguarding, working directly with our Sunrise team, working directly with children's social care. We deliver 40 open access sessions a week. Every week there's youth centres, of which we have a number are full consistently, and loads of stuff in terms of projects that we do right across the piece. Young people missing from home, supported education. I could go on and on and on in terms of what we do. And every single bit of that is fundamentally important. Every single bit of that is much needed, and we could do a lot more of it as well. Youth work is definitely something that is really valued and much needed, not just by young people in Rochdale. So what you've got here, I said, just to repeat, you're not a youth worker if you call yourself one. You're a youth worker if you've been on a pathway, and you're towards becoming professionally qualified, and that's what we're about. For those GNC qualified people in the room, we're currently advertising. Greater Manchester jobs. We're looking for suitably experienced and qualified youth workers. And it's, it's a good gig, so have a chat with Diane. You can do interviews on break. So this is our pathway. We celebrate it. It's important to us. We talk to the peer review team about it. We promote it at every twist and turn and offer those opportunities for people to come and join us. So, why the peer review? I was interested that people were choosing one thing. I don't understand the value of choosing one thing to look at. We didn't get that option, so we was first in terms of the peer review. So we had like a fortnight's notice. I attended the training with Lee, and then that was it. We were on action pro. So what when the peer review team came to see us for the week, it felt longer, but they saw us in all of our glory, really, and it was that was really good. That was really good because we, everyone knew that Diane was doing great work with the team. Everyone kind of knew that that young people really valued it, but it was really good to hear just how good it was. And also we've got some stuff to fix up, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. Political support, fundamentally important. Rachel literally goes around at every twist and turn, promoting, celebrating, discussing all of those things with other politicians, with people on the doorstep, with young people. She attends more events than most of our youth workers. I don't know where she gets the energy, but she does it, and it's brilliant. And it's really, really appreciated, and that's important. Also in terms of why we did it, was wanting the work to be recognised and for it to be accountable as well. Because youth work's had a bit of a bad time, hasn't it? If anybody's noticed over the last 10 to 14 years. And it's not a political statement, by the way, it's a fact. And it's like what Lee said earlier, a third of all authorities don't have youth services. An absolute travesty. It's awful. And that's no fault of those local authorities. It's just really, really tough, isn't it, for DCSs, for everyone, in terms of trying to make some decisions, and it's really, really hard. But in every one of those areas, it's much needed. Rochdale, the same. We were really excited to be having a strategic conversation about youth work again. So we were like, where do we sign? Let's do that because it's so fundamentally important. And the focus for us was on youth work and not the range of activities that are offered, of which there are many across Rochdale and Greater Manchester. But our focus was just about the youth work that we wanted to be part of. And also because we were the first off the blocks with the NYA, the Local Government Association. it was really good because we were able to kind of talk about what we were doing, adapt, and kind of and get feedback. And it was really important. And we also included a range of partners right across the spectrum of partnerships to just with no preparation, just go and tell them about what we do with you guys. So they said loads of nice things about the service. They said loads of nice things about youth workers, and good things about the council. I won't read them all out. Voice work is really, really important to us. We do a lot of it. We're just about to have the first time Children and Young People's Plan that's purely led by the voices of children and young people. What's been amazing about that with the 8,000 plus conversations that we've had with young people, or different young people, on a range of issues in terms of being safe in Rochdale, being healthy, being successful, what that means to them. That's been brilliant, and it's covered a really wide spectrum of needs and aspirations. But the voice work is really important, so that came up and as a strength. But there was also some areas of development for us that we had. For example, supervision was happening regularly and kind of doing all of these things, but the recording of it wasn't as sharp as it could have been in terms of, how do you demonstrate youth work, the kind of age-old question, and what were we doing in terms of performance information, kind of all of those things, and what were we doing in terms of quality assurance and all of that was questions and discussions that the team were really encouraged to get into, and that what we wanted to talk about. So, since that has happened, we're really keen to contribute to any reviews and also keen to contribute to any conversation about youth work that promotes it, and anybody who's got any issues with it or questions about it, you can ask Diane for difficult questions, and if they're nice ones, I'll answer some. So we've got an annual development plan now that we didn't have, in terms of what's our kind of continuous improvement journey. We're working really hard to raise standards right across the piece. The service has won the Rochdale Diversity Award, which was amazing. There's a picture of Diane there, and some of the team, which is fantastic. And also, if you don't know an organisation called the Proud Trust, Lisa, the CEO, is in the audience, from Greater Manchester, who do literally the best work I've ever seen in terms of LGBT plus work. And they have the Rainbow Flag Award, which is a quality mark for engagement. And Rochdale first off the blocks as a youth service to get into that work, and really kind of what does it actually mean for us as a service, and really get into that dialogue with staff, with communities, with young people. Diane, a real champion of the service achieving all of these things in order to kind of make the progress that we do. So check out Proud Trust and Rainbow Flag Award. They've got amazing resources and they do great stuff. So in terms of us, we'd like continued involvement of the peer review stuff. We really like it. We'd like to see it develop. I'd like to see the LDA come back to it and be part of it. But me, I will own that statement. That's not a statement. I just think it's important. We're aiming to become a trauma-informed borough. We're doing loads and lots of stuff about that. Youth work in big and involved. I think that was one of the bits of learning for us really. Was that youth work's part of early help, or youth work kind of contributes to this, or we have. And it's actually now we need to be talking about youth work, big and bold, and this is what it's about. Not youth work as an also or contributes to. We're going to be going for the quality mark with the NYA, and also interested in the further development of level 6 apprenticeships. So I suppose our learning, we'll be really explicit about youth work and where it sits. I think that's really, really important. And that we contribute anywhere and everywhere in terms of what we do. Youth work, it's never been more needed, in my opinion. It's never been more important than it is now in terms of some of the challenges that children, young people and families face in our communities, and it's like, the answer's there for me. You know, it's we need to celebrate it right across every government department. But I was just in a meeting earlier this week thinking about the DFE priorities of attendance, implementation of a new childcare offer, engagement with families, SEND, developing better value, safer homes built on love. Which bits of that are not about youth work? You know, well, we could go on and on and on right across the spectrum of things. Loads to celebrate. I mentioned about the Children and Young People's Plan. We think it's really important to contribute to the sector, locally, regionally, nationally, wherever there's an opportunity, find the spaces to be able to talk about youth work. Our Children and Young People's Plan, we're excited about it, and the difference that's going to make. The things that are in it are things that we wouldn't have put in it necessarily, which is amazing, which is some of the things that young people were saying about transport, and you know, we're immediately going on to transport for Greater Manchester, and there's all sorts of stuff. Rachel saw the first draft and she was out to the other portfolio members, right, what's going on here inside of these things. Brilliant to kind of have those conversations. Really excited. So we mentioned about that. We mentioned about youth work being a profession. If you take anything away from this, you're not a youth worker. If you call yourself one, it's a profession. I think the relationship between the LGA and the NYA is really important. We really valued that. We pet Lee's head all the time in terms of some of the stuff that we're doing and asked to contribute and do those things. And then also, I think, really importantly, the further development of higher education routes for youth work. We can't let it go, or can't let it carry on. It needs to be developed at every possible opportunity. So we thought that youth work is back. You know, we really wanted that, but in Rochdale, we were really clear that it never went away. And that's lots to celebrate in terms of Rochdale, but it's really sad that was the case. And if anybody wants to chat, those are our details, and we're really happy to have a conversation. Thanks.